I really like his enthusiasm and his infectious energy that he possesses. Yeah, his potential, I think, is very high. So
initially, Barca's long-term plan was to invest heavily in a marquee central striker to succeed Robert Lewandowski. Internally, names like Julian Alvarez and Joel Pedro were viewed as ideal targets because of their mobility, pressing intensity, and of course their age. But those deals quickly became financially unrealistic. This is reportedly when Deco pivoted to Anthony Gordon as a strategic solution, because that man is not limited to one role. Instead of buying a backup winger, another transition runner, and a rotational striker, Barca are essentially getting 3-in-1 with Anthony Gordon. Gordon's performances in the Champions League reportedly changed how many executives inside the club viewed him. Scoring 10 goals in 12 appearances, Gordon suddenly proved that he was not just an energetic weaver of a Premier League winger. He could genuinely deliver on Europe's biggest stage. Well, according to multiple reports, this was a signing that Flick really wanted. Since arriving at Barca, Flick has slowly moved the club away from the slower, patient positional dominance traditionally associated with Barca's tiki-taka. The modern Barca is far more vertical. They're more aggressive. They're way more intense physically. Flick's system heavily prioritizes off-the-ball work rate. And having another winger who can replicate Rafinha's counter-pressing intensity is seen as vital for the team's structural balance.
Here now, the next bit is just as important to me because I'm going back the other way and I'm letting them know you're not going to beat me that way as well.
According to many reports, internally, Barca believed that Gordon had shown the mentality, intensity, and personality required to survive at the highest level. Though if you're a skeptic, you can make the argument that he might have just found his level against Carabao. Now, while Hansi Flick and the Barcelona board are convinced that Anthony Gordon is their guy, there is naturally a lot of skepticism around this transfer, especially when you look at the feed. At his absolute best, he looks tailor-made for modern elite football. In the Premier League, Gordon had just 6 league goals. And it's not like he didn't have chances. His expected goal number was 8.83. Now, from what I've researched, it seems that many Newcastle fans felt his confidence had declined early in the season after a red card against Liverpool in August. Internally, some coaches reportedly felt that suspension affected the edge and aggression that normally defined his game. Instead of constantly attacking defenders fearlessly, Gordon sometimes looked hesitant and emotionally frustrated. And unfortunately for him, suspensions became an issue, because that's also the reason that he missed Newcastle's huge Carabao Cup victory over Liverpool at Wembley. Just watching one comp of him will confirm to you that he works very hard and is very athletic. The problem is spending that much money for a player who doesn't have elite-level output. His numbers over the past few seasons do not justify an €80 million evaluation, even in today's inflated market. Across the last 2 Premier League seasons, Gordon has scored only 12 league goals, with nearly half of them coming from pens. Even more concerning is his open play production. He has gone on extremely long stretches without scoring a non-penalty Premier League goal. Then, there's the concern about whether Gordon has the skill set that can translate naturally to La Liga football. The way they keep the ball was a learning experience.
I think you know, playing the game as you get older, every year it feels like you're maturing, and for me I'm getting a bit more composure in front of goal in certain areas, and I think I've made enough mistakes around the final third to learn what not to do now. So yeah, but it's something that I'm working on day to day. I'm still nowhere near where I want to be, so I've still got a lot to do.
And then there's the temperament issue. Throughout his career, he has developed a reputation for emotional outbursts. He wears his emotion on a sleeve, so you can easily see when he's frustrated on the pitch. And there's been occasional lapses in his professionalism when situations do not go his way. There have been incidents involving missed training sessions, public frustration towards the manager, and unnecessary yellow or red cards because of off-the-ball reactions. Many of those concerns actually came up when Newcastle played Barcelona in the Champions League. After reportedly feeling unwell earlier in the day, Gordon was left on the bench by Eddie Howe. But when he eventually entered the match late, many Newcastle supporters felt he looked emotionally disconnected from the game entirely. He failed to track runners defensively, looked passive without the ball, and directly contributed to Newcastle conceding a soft goal. Many supporters accused him of sulking and prioritizing his own needs instead of worrying about the team as a whole. At Barca, every bad performance becomes a headline. What should worry Barca fans is if Gordon's temperaments become worse, if results turn negative. For Barcelona supporters, the fear of big money transfers goes beyond football abilities. It's actually more down to the PTSD they get from previous big signings. Paying over €80 million for a Premier League attacker who is not universally viewed as a guaranteed world-class superstar immediately triggers uncomfortable memories for the fanbase. Like Coutinho was a much better player than Anthony Gordon, and we all saw how that turned out. The fear is made worse by the fact that Barcelona are still recovering economically. There's a worry that if Anthony Gordon struggles to adapt to Spanish football, the club could end up trapped with a very mid player with huge wages. From the outside, it absolutely looks like a risky gamble. But as I always say in these videos, only time will tell if this is a good signing. If Barca continue to win silverware, no one's going to care about the transfer fee that was paid. On top of that, Hansi Flick now has a history of making players better. He rejuvenated Marcus Rashford. He rebuilt the confidence of Ferran Torres. He transformed the entire emotional atmosphere surrounding Barcelona far quicker than almost anybody expected. Flick can make anybody look elite. The reality is that this Barcelona project already feels ahead of schedule because of the German man.